Well, Cracky's Crackers, we got a new show. Ah! Ah! Oh! What? Oh, no, it's Mr. Pennypacker. Okay, stop. Stop. We gotta talk. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Joe. Uh-oh, it's the boss. He's here to talk to us. Okay. I need to talk to you guys as soon as possible. Listen, I just want to let you know we're usually a very private channel here on YouTube. Almost private. No viewers, right? No, I checked the views. There's 489 people here. Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, yes! We got company, and you guys better be on your best behavior, okay? And I want to be honest to that little numbskull back there. Look, you've been doing some funny stuff, but you better understand we got some sensitive people here. You even make fun of somebody's love handle. We might be on Twitter and we might be getting canceled. Oh no, it's terrible. You're gonna have reasons to act like Gomer Pyle. Because you're going to be probably in the back of some Arby's somewhere. You'll be in the back of some Arby's. You'll be in the back of some Arby's. With you and Glenn just doing this like little thing here, and just people in the drive-thru going, "Who are those two guys? They're just acting like goofballs." And it's like, oh yeah, I gotta go up to those people and tell them, these people have been canceled off the internet, and now all they can do is like do like little shows with each other in the back of an Arby's. That is crazy. Oh, it's definitely not good. We got company. You guys, you better be a company now. Okay, so what are you guys planning to do? You're gonna have more wrestling? Yeah, I'm really getting into it. I've been getting like a lot of the back Blu-rays of old WWF pay-per-views. I collect that stuff, because there's people who make bootleg DVDs and Blu-rays, and it's good stuff, and I love watching. They even have all the lead-ups and the follows and stuff. Oh, well, Mr. Pennypacker, that's some great stuff. We haven't seen Dark Mile in a while. We've been wanting to ask. Well, I think he's like suffering from severe claustrophobia, and maybe I am doing something humanely wrong, keeping his head in a box for weeks. Maybe that's not advisable to do it that long. Maybe next show or so I'll let him out, because there's something big happening, but I don't want to tell you, Glenn. Uh-oh, what's going on? Well, did I just say I can't tell you, or it's a surprise? It's a big deal. But, you guys go do your fun little stuff, okay? Oh, crackies, Joe, it's time for some wrestling. We got WWE 2K22, and we're having a match with The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin at SummerSlam. We got a series of matches we did, Joe, with just having sort of like Austin, Rock, Triple H, Undertaker, Cactus Jack, Mick Foley, because those guys were perfect, they had perfect matches. They were epic. They had a lot of energy and fuel, and we're live from Orlando, Florida. Oh, Joe, no. I had to kind of stop him there. He was trying to quote Terry Funk. We're in an age of algorithms and computers that can hear what you're saying, and you can't. There's certain words you can't say anymore, even though at one point in time, those words were in movies. They were in everything, and but different times comes adaptation. And The Rock, like I said, we didn't try to get a creator wrestler for him. We just used the one that was available, because I kind of like having the unique commentary that at least talks about his accomplishments and stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, I've seen creator wrestlers of like Chris Benoit, and oh my goodness, they're you think that they took a DeLorean and went back in time, and they motion captured him or something, and I mean that it's realistic. It's realistic right to the bone, and every vein, everything, But you need to understand, understand, that's not an official creation, and then you see how it's The Rock, I mean, you look at him. I mean, I'll be honest. I've been playing wrestling games since the NES, and you're getting to an age where, I mean, there was a time I remember in WWE, WWF WrestleMania 2000 on the N64 when The Rock made his first appearance in a wrestling video game outside of like Warzone, and his eyebrow was permanently cocked up. And it's funny now, but back then that was it. That was sort of like, that was the limitations, that people's faces were actually like permanently stuck in one position, and that was the reality of graphics. This is this is really, you're getting closer to more television style of, I mean, this is getting closer to TV. I mean, but I do understand there's some 2K games and they look awful. Like the graphics look bad, and I think it's just there were certain years where they just kind of phoned it in. And but what this one what it was is they realized they were in trouble because they had gotten too bad. They had gotten too bad in the past. There was actually a year they didn't have a 2K wrestling game, and it was like just like Battlegrounds or something, because they were just putting something out there to phone it in, and they knew they had to really make up with this one, and you could see it, like yeah. But I will warn you, we're not playing this; we're just watching it, But I've actually have been trying to actually kind of start to play it, and it's so different. Because there's times where it lets you reverse, and then times where it makes you take a beating, and I'm not used to that. I'm not like, it makes me feel like I'm not sure when it allows me to play the game, and then it says no, you're gonna be selling for this amount of time, and then I'll let you try to get that quick time event. And that's the problem too. It's kind of quick time event. It would be easier if it was just all one button, as far as reversals. And basically, that's Aki, That was the way it was. You had a block button and you had the strike. You had the one button that would block strikes and one that would block, that would evade grapples. And if you did it right, you can actually kind of break their grapple. And that was the way it was. And there's been times where they actually have done that in these kind of games, I say these kind of games because, the names have changed over time. At first, you would say SmackDown. That's because this is basically SmackDown. Then they became SmackDown versus Raw, and they were that title for years because of the brand split. And then they became the 2Ks, which is what they are and still are today. And so with Rock here in Austin, and I'm going to be honest with you, this match, you would think Austin is just crushing him, and you actually don't know that. I actually think that The Rock is one of those characters in this game where I've literally seen him get his ass beat, and like for most of the match, and you think, oh, he's done, he's going to lose, and then he actually wins. Because I think they made his AI fairly like the real one, where it's like, his character's like that, where his character gets, actually the more beat he gets, sometimes the better he gets later on. Although I'll let you know, I did a match with him, and an elimination chamber once with Andre was in it, And Andre just manhandled him. He just mauled him like a lion. I mean, it was freaking amazing. I mean, I mean, you know, because you look at The Rock, you'd think he's just as ripped as Hogan and stuff. You would think that he could pretty much handle Andre, but uh, see, with Andre in these games, you can't do much against Andre until you wear him down, and then you can start to kind of like hip toss him and do things like that. And where in the beginning, no, and that has a huge advantage for him because if the AI can take advantage of that, that's that's the end of it, you know. Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh no, Joe. No, it's two count. No, Austin's upset now. Oh, Joe. You know, Joe. Hey, me. Ah, Joe. Yeah. Joe doesn't say much during the wrestling stuff, you know, but he provides a lot of content when we have the start of these episodes. And here Austin goes, you know, flippy, flippy. And then the Rock comes in, stomping and beating him up, and yeah, the real aim was to do a series of matches with just those guys from like, um, you know, from like the late '90s into the early 2000s, you know, and just kind of like focus on you know, that time period of so much talent and so much, you know, it's basically attitude era in a way. But I have a tendency that I just pretend like it isn't really. It's just like pretend if this was now, more or less. You know, that's why I have it in a modern SummerSlam arena as opposed to a older SummerSlam, because I just wanted it to look like, you know, like I remember getting on VHS some of those old like you know, like SummerSlam, WrestleMania around the year of 2001. 2001 to 2, man, there was some good pay-per-views. I mean, maybe the storytelling was a little weird, but you know, and that's generally the McMahons, but in actual reality, um stuff was fairly good stuff. I mean, it was good matches and, you know, really good work rate and stuff. And here comes the people's elbow, the most fakest move in the world. And, you know, that was a thing back in the day. And so, this match isn't very much longer. It's only about 15 minutes. So it's now there's the bulldog there, the running bulldog, and I remember in WCW there used to be guys that had that as their finishing move. You know, it's a cool move, you know, but you know it was kind of like a lot of guys like Wyndham and Dustin used to do that move, you know, and this is a kind of a weird match because for some reason the AI didn't, even though there's no disqualifications, they didn't go outside the ring, which was really weird. I've literally had matches, no joke, where, you know, I have a 10 count, I have all that, and they're always outside the ring eventually. But not this. There's the stunner, and there is, here you go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, no, 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 no. There's only two. We're doing the Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon always said that. He always say, 1, 2, 3, we got to win it. No, no, wait, 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 wait. he always did that. It was kind of annoying because he would do it almost every match. And I know people like I don't. Sometimes I get like reminiscent of Vince McMahon, and he did some good work for a long time, but a lot of people admit even by like mid 90s he was pretty much getting annoying, and I that's why I have a tendency to like the wrestling challenges with Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan. I'm watching old episodes of that because it's just even you could take a match where it's like not even good, but it's like their commentary alone makes it kind of worth it. And well, Austin didn't have enough space to do what he wanted, so he's gonna just slap him around. There are times where my brain actually does actually like um, it actually recognizes Austin as Austin. I mean, it's not like you need to understand in older wrestling games, man. Sometimes it was just bald guy number one with Steve Austin's name and bald guy number two with Rock's name. Where now it's like they've actually digitally actually like captured what their bodies actually physically look like, which is really crazy. I mean, and I've even seen the Korean wrestlers that, man, people have put a lot of work into. Only problem with 2K23 is people are now confused about what is a ring attire and what's an entrance attire. I've literally had no joke Dusty Rhodes come to the ring with the polka dot tire, and then when he gets in the ring, he's got his old NWA gear, and it's kind of like, what are you doing? You're making me look bad if I simulate this because it makes it look like I screwed up or something. So now I'm lazy. I just like download for the community. That's the only downside of the new AEW game. And look, understand these games are always like getting patches and DLC though, which is it generally used to be a bad thing, but sometimes it is a good thing because new features could be put in later. What I hear about that game is they don't want to do with like 2K does. They don't want to have a new game every year. They want Rock just keeps kicking out. I told you. He's tougher. He's a lot tougher, than some of the other guys. Like he'll take a beating and he just kicks out of everything. And this is against Stone Cold Steve Austin, you know, who generally at one point in time was pretty much the only one in the promotion was like a Hulk Hogan at the time. So, and really, if you think about it, probably Vince wanted Ultimate Warrior to be very much just like The Rock at one point, but he was too two-dimensional and didn't work very well. And where The Rock, he got lucky, instead of being just stuck with Austin, he actually had a second option with The Rock, and he got lucky, that he had that kind of talent on hand that actually had the ability to go that extra mile. With the Ultimate Warrior, it was kind of like, well, he just was a bodybuilder, he was good on the mic though. I like him on the mic, and The Rock wins, and that's the thing I mean. Like that's the neat thing. Like I was assuming Austin was gonna win this because he was just. Well, you see, he's just beating The Rock every second, and The Rock actually came back from that. That's the neat thing. Of course, I didn't put the WWE title on the line in this. In the next match, I would do that. Well, folks, I'll see you next time. Another show on Farfinger Gaming.